A buyer asked me to quote for 4 placements pointing at one page. I opened the page before I answered him. 700 words. The 4 results sitting above it had all cleared 2,000, and every one of them answered a question his page never got round to. I quoted anyway, because that is the business. But I told him first that 4 links were not going to do the thing he wanted them to do. This happens constantly. Somebody has a budget for links and the page that is the actual problem. And the budget goes on links because links are the part you can buy. Why you should take this from me. I sell do follow placements on my own properties at $250 each. That is income, and it is the whole reason to be suspicious of the next 10 minutes. I buy them as well. $387 across 3 sites last year, which I have pulled apart line by line elsewhere on this channel. So when I tell you that a large share of link spending is paying to promote a page nobody can promote, understand that I am arguing myself out of invoices. The question that splits every case, there is one diagnostic here, and it is not complicated. Find out where the page currently sits for the thing it is supposed to be about. The query a person would actually type. Most people check a phrase they invented in a spreadsheet and come away reassured. If it ranks nowhere at all, links will not rescue it. I mean nowhere, not sitting on page 5 somewhere, and no impressions worth the name for that query across a whole reporting period. A page ranking nowhere for its own topic is not short of votes. It has been fetched, read, judged, and left out. More links pointing at a bad answer is a bad answer with more people vouching for it. Now the other side. If the page sits just outside the top results, and you look at what is above it and cannot honestly say those pages are better, that is the case where links move something. That is the fork. One branch is a writing job and the other is a buying job, and almost everybody takes the buying branch regardless of which one they are standing on. Why the position tells you which one you have. A page sitting 11th or 14th for its own query has already been accepted as a candidate answer. Something decided it belongs in the conversation and then ordered it below other things. And ordering can be argued with. A page nowhere is not in the conversation at all. It has not been ranked low. It has been left off. An external agreement about how important it is does not change what happens when somebody reads it. I cannot give you the mechanism, and neither can anybody else honestly. What I can tell you is that I have never once watched bot links drag a page from nowhere into the top 10 for a query it does not answer, and I have watched people spend 4 figures trying 4 signs the page is the problem. These are what I check, in the order I check them, and none of them need a subscription. It is thinner than everything above it. Open the top 5 results and skim what each one covers. Coverage, not a word count target, which is a stupid way to write anything. If all 5 explain what it costs and yours never mentions money, you have found something. If all 5 have a section on the way it goes wrong and yours only describes it going right, same finding. Length is the symptom. What it is a symptom of is omission. Short pages win constantly when they say the one specific thing nobody else bothered to say. So read for what is missing. It targets a phrase nobody searches. This is my most common self-inflicted wound. You write about a thing using the words you use for it internally. Your customers use different words, so the page is beautifully arranged around a phrase with almost no volume, while the phrase people actually type is missing from the title, the first paragraph, and every heading on the page. The tell is that you rank first for your phrase, you feel good about it, and the traffic is a rounding error. The fix is a title, a first paragraph, and 2 headings. 20 minutes. It is the highest return edit on this list, and it involves buying nothing, which is exactly why it sits there undone. It was written for a search engine. You can hear this one. Read the page out loud, and the rhythm will tell you who it was written for. Phrases repeated because somebody decided a keyword should appear a certain number of times. A paragraph explaining what a thing is to a reader who obviously already knows. A section that exists to hold a heading and says nothing underneath it. There is a specific version of this from the last 2 years, which is a page assembled quickly by a model and never edited by anybody who cared. Those pages have a texture to them. Even paragraphs, and nothing specific enough to be wrong. A page nobody wanted to write is not going to become a page somebody wants to read, and links do nothing about the reading. It is one of 4 of your own pages on the same subject. This is the cheapest fix in CO, and it is the one people skip. You publish for a few years. the same topic comes round more than once because you forgot, or the angle looked slightly different that week, or two people were writing and neither checked. Now 4 pages of yours cover the same ground. Each has picked up a little standing. None of them has all of it. They are competing with each other before they compete with anybody outside, and they are splitting whatever the site had to give them. This is a different fault from one article answering at 4 separate addresses, which is a delivery problem I have gone through on its own. These are 4 genuinely different pages that should have been one. Merging them cost nothing. No outreach and no invoice. What a merge actually looks like. Pick the one with the strongest external links pointing at it. That is your survivor, even when it is not the best written of the 4. Take everything the other 3 say that the survivor does not, and put it in properly in the place it belongs, rather than bolted on at the bottom under a heading called Additional Information. Then redirect the other 3 at the survivor. Then go and fix your own internal links that used to point at the pages you just retired, which is the step everybody forgets. I have covered internal linking properly in its own piece, and I am not going to redo it here. The short version is that a merge you do not follow up internally leaves your site pointing at redirects for years. An afternoon, no money. And if you were about to spend $800 buying links to 2 of those 4 pages, you were about to pay to make the split worse. Fix, wait, then decide. Here is the sequencing I would defend. Fix the page, give it a month, then look again and decide whether it needs links. The waiting is the part everybody hates, and it is the part that matters. A rewritten page has to be recrawled, and whatever gets computed about it has to be computed again. Rewrite on Monday, buy links on Thursday, and you have spent money without ever finding out what the rewrite was worth by itself. You also lose any ability to tell which thing did anything. 2 changes at once, and all you learn is that a number moved. I will admit the wait is easier to preach than to sit through. A month of nothing, while a competitor keeps publishing, feels like losing. Why the money goes to outreach anyway? I think the real reason is simple and a bit unflattering. Outreach feels like progress. There is a list, there are emails going out and replies coming back, and a spreadsheet with statuses in it. You can report on it in a meeting on Friday. Rewriting feels like admitting the first version was weak. If you wrote that first version, or signed it off, the admission has a price inside your own head that has nothing whatsoever to do with search, so the budget goes where the discomfort is not. I have done this. I have bought a link rather than reopen something I wrote. What a ranked bad page costs you. There is a second cost here, and no tool reports it. Suppose the links work. Suppose you drag the page up and people start landing on it. They land on the page you already knew was thin, they read it, and they leave. You have paid to send strangers to your weakest work. Ranking is only the start of the transaction, and a page that does not answer the question does not answer it any better with an audience watching. Whether a link is worth anything on a page nobody reads is a separate argument I have made elsewhere. This one is about the page you are pointing the links at. When links genuinely are the answer, I am not writing my own business off. So here is the other half of it, honestly. If your page is thorough, current, better than at least 2 of the things above it, and it has been parked at 11 for 6 months, you do not have a writing problem. Everything above it has links it has not got. That gap is real, and buying is a legitimate way to close it. Same story for a page that is genuinely new in a category where everything ranking is old. Age and accumulated links are the whole difference, and one of those 2 you cannot buy. So the test is whether anything has ever agreed the page belongs in the conversation. If something has, links are an argument about the order. If nothing has, you are arguing with a closed door. What I cannot tell you, I do not have a clean before and after for any of this. My own reporting is in a state I do not trust, so any chart I put on screen would be decoration. And when I merged pages on one of my properties, I changed other things in the same fortnight, which is precisely the mistake I just spent 2 minutes telling you to avoid. I also have no idea how much of any effect is the rewrite and how much is that the page simply got touched, recrawled and dated more recently. I suspect a real part of it is that I cannot separate them, and neither can anyone selling you a course about it. What I would do before approving a budget, take the pages the budget is meant for and run the 4 signs over each one. Then take the ones that fail and ask what the money actually buys on those. What it buys is a delay, and at the end of the delay, you reopen the page anyway. The way I quote placements and the questions I ask a buyer before I take money is at thesealldesk.com. Subscribe for more on link buying that has